It was a warm, sunny afternoon at Greenfield Park. The sky was clear, and a light breeze moved gently through the trees. Families were out enjoying the day, kids on swings, parents chatting on benches, and dogs chasing after tennis balls. Everything felt calm and safe. A black family pulled into the small parking lot near the picnic tables. There was a mom with a kind smile, a dad wearing a cap and carrying a cooler, two kids laughing as they jumped out of the car, and an older woman, Grandma, stepping out slowly with a cane. They looked happy to be there. The kids ran ahead toward the open field, excited to play. Mom spread out a blanket under a big tree while Dad unpacked sandwiches and juice. Grandma sat quietly on a bench nearby, watching her grandkids with soft eyes and a proud smile. Other people in the park glanced over, but only for a moment. It was just another family enjoying a peaceful afternoon. Nothing unusual, nothing wrong. Birds chirped in the trees. A soft wind rustled the leaves. Laughter filled the air. No one knew that this quiet day was about to turn into something no one would forget. As the family settled in, a woman appeared at the far end of the park. She was in her 50s, dressed in a sharp coat, and holding a small leash with a tiny dog. Her eyes scanned the area with a hard look. She didn't smile or greet anyone. Instead, she kept walking slowly toward the picnic tables, where the family was. The woman stopped a few feet away, watching the family. Her face tightened like she was holding back anger. People nearby noticed her but stayed quiet. No one said a word. The dog tugged on its leash, but she didn't seem to care. The children kept playing, unaware of the tension. The mom tried to ignore the woman, focusing on unpacking the food. Grandma, however, watched her closely. There was something in the woman's eyes that made Grandma's calm expression change for a moment, just a flicker of warning. The woman took a deep breath, then suddenly raised her voice. "Why are you even here?" she shouted. "This park isn't for people like you." The words cut through the air, sharp and cold. The family froze. Nearby parkgoers stopped what they were doing, turning to look. The quiet afternoon suddenly felt heavy. No one moved. No one spoke. The woman's voice echoed across the park. "You don't belong here. This is our neighborhood, not yours," she yelled, pointing aggressively at the family. Her face was red, her eyes wild with anger. The mother stepped forward calmly, her hands open to show she meant no harm. "We're just here to enjoy the park," she said softly. "We haven't done anything wrong." But the woman didn't listen. She kept shouting, her words sharp and cruel. She accused them of ruining the park, told the father to take his family somewhere else, and even called the children names. The youngest child started to tremble, clutching her mother's hand tightly. People nearby watched in silence. Some looked away, uncomfortable. Others pulled out their phones and started recording, but no one stepped in to stop the woman. The father tried to calm the situation. "Please, ma'am, we're just here peacefully," he said, his voice steady despite the tension. The racist woman sneered. "Peaceful? You don't belong here, you never have." Grandma stayed seated, but her eyes were sharp, watching every move. She didn't say a word, but the family knew she was waiting for the right moment. The mother gathered the kids closer, trying to shield them. "Let's pack up," she whispered, hoping to end this quickly. The woman laughed bitterly. "You think you can just leave? Not until I say so." The air felt thick. Everyone waited. Something was about to happen. The woman's yelling grew louder, sharper. Her voice cut through the park like a storm. More people stopped what they were doing, drawn by the shouting. A small crowd began to gather, forming a loose circle around the family and the angry woman. Some people pulled out their phones, filming silently. Others just watched, unsure what to do. The tension hung heavy in the air. The woman stepped closer, her face twisted with anger. She pointed at the children, calling them cruel names. The youngest child's tears spilled over, her sobs breaking the uneasy silence. The mother knelt down to comfort her, whispering soft words. The father stood protectively in front, his jaw tight. "Leave us alone," he said quietly, but firmly. But the woman ignored him, shouting more hateful things. She accused the family of stealing the park and bringing trouble. No one stepped forward to stop her. The crowd stayed frozen, watching like it was a show. Grandma remained seated at first, her eyes never leaving the woman. Then, slowly she stood up. The movement was calm, but it caught everyone's attention. People shifted, leaning in, waiting to see what the old woman would do. The racist woman paused, surprised. The park held its breath. Grandma stood slowly, steady and strong, despite her age. She didn't shout or wave her hands, she walked toward the angry woman with quiet confidence. The crowd fell silent, all eyes fixed on her. Everyone expected her to beg or ask the woman to stop, but Grandma did something else. She looked the woman in the eye and began to speak, softly, but with power behind every word. "I've lived long enough to see people like you before," she said. "I've faced words like yours. I've walked through streets where fear tried to stop me. I've marched for justice, even when it seemed no one would listen." Her voice grew firmer, steady and calm. "You think your hate scares me. It only shows your weakness. You try to tear us down, but we rise, we stand tall, because we are stronger than your anger." The woman's face changed, surprise, confusion, maybe even fear. The crowd watched, caught between silence and the emotion rising in the moment. Grandma's story wasn't long. She spoke about the struggles she endured, the battles fought by those who came before, and the pride she carries for her family. "You want us gone, we're here to stay, not just today, but every day, because this park belongs to all of us." The angry woman took a step back, speechless. The silence grew heavier, but now it felt different. It was full of respect and something like hope. The crowd shifted, someone let out a small breath. The moment was breaking. Grandma stood tall, her eyes steady, waiting. At first, the park was still, no one moved. Then, a young girl in the crowd clapped softly. It was quiet at first, almost like a whisper, but then another person joined in, and soon more hands began to clap. One by one, people stepped forward, standing beside the family. A man spoke up, his voice firm but calm. "You need to leave," he told the woman. "This park is for everyone." Another woman knelt beside the youngest child, wiping away her tears and offering a warm smile. The crowd began to circle around the family, forming a protective wall of support. The racist woman looked around, her face pale now, unsure and angry. She glanced back at Grandma, who held her gaze without flinching. "Leave," the man said again, more forcefully. The woman backed away slowly, her anger turning into silence. People whispered among themselves, their eyes fixed on the woman as she turned and hurried out of the park. The weight of the moment slowly lifted. The crowd began to relax, smiles returning. Some came forward to share snacks and water with the family. Strangers offered kind words and pats on the back. The mother smiled through tears. The children ran off to play again, laughter filling the air once more. Grandma sat back down on the bench, her face soft but proud. The park felt different now. Warmer, safer. The day that started with hate ended with something stronger, hope and unity. No one in that crowd would forget what happened. And no one watching would either. The park was quieter now, but the air still buzzed with something new. People talked softly, sharing smiles and stories. Strangers who had watched in silence before now came forward, offering food, drinks, and kind words to the family. The mother wiped tears from her eyes, her voice soft but full of gratitude. The kids laughed again, chasing each other across the grass like nothing had happened. Grandma sat quietly on the bench, her eyes scanning the park with a calm strength. The family didn't need words to explain what had happened. The warmth and support around them said it all. The hate they faced didn't disappear, but it was met with something stronger, community and courage. Later, as the sun dipped low, the family packed up their things. They left the park with their heads held high, knowing that they had not only survived, but stood proud. Grandma's quiet strength had changed everything. The woman's hate was stopped, not with anger, but with courage and dignity. And the crowd that day learned a powerful lesson: standing together, even in silence, can make a difference. Sometimes, one voice, one person, is all it takes to change the story. The afternoon at the park was a simple day that turned into a powerful moment. It showed how hate can appear anywhere, but so can courage and unity. Sometimes, the strongest people don't shout the loudest. They stand quietly, with a steady heart and firm voice. Grandma reminded everyone watching that real power comes from standing up for what is right, even when it's hard. This story is not just about one family, or one woman, it's about all of us. About the strength we carry inside, passed down from those who fought before us. It's a reminder that change doesn't always come with noise or violence. Sometimes, it starts with a calm voice, and a crowd that refuses to stay silent. And that day in the park, when one grandma stood up, an entire community found the courage to stand with her.